Hey everyone! So today in our Tuesday class, our Tuesday live class, we're going to be talking about what makes essential oils really unique. And so this is a little bit about, it's a little heady, it's a little bit about the chemistry of the oils. I'm kind of nerdy that way where this really fascinates me because I think that the more that we know about what is really unique about these oils, the more that we're going to understand how they can really be used beneficially in our bodies and why we should be using them in our bodies. So, with that being said, essential oils are nature's finest creations. They are super, super complex. In fact, we don't even know all there is to know about the oils yet. There are lots of scientists and universities doing lots of studies and research on them right now. And that's a good thing. We need to know more about them. In the past, we've really just had textbooks to go off of, and those have been wonderful and given us lots of great information. But we really need the science to back up all of these things and help us to even discover more about the chemistry about these oils that we're using and what they're doing in our bodies and how they're, what kinds of things they're doing in all the cells in our bodies and our organs and all those things. We're finding out all that information, and these studies are coming out, and so we're really excited. So that being said, what are essential oils? Let's just get down to the basics and figure out what exactly they are. So they come from nature. And they come from plants, so plants are in nature. And so these essential oils are in plants. Now, if you took a peppermint leaf and you looked at it under a microscope, and you looked at it microscopically, you would see all these little sacs on the leaf. Now, we know that when we take a peppermint leaf and we rub it between our fingers or we slice it or any of that, all of a sudden we smell that aroma of peppermint, right? Well, that is all of those oil sacs, all those little sacs on the leaf. Those are them bursting, and when they burst, that's when we smell the aroma. Those essential oil sacs, that's what is the aroma. So, like humans, plants need to be able to communicate with each other. Okay, plants are very intelligent. I mean, if you've ever studied botany or anything like that, you'll know how all the different things that they are communicating with each other, all the different mechanisms that go in just to their survival. Essential oils in plants are constantly changing their chemical composition. And this really helps the plant be able to adapt to its environment. So plants have to be able to be adaptable, right? That's one of their main characteristics. So plants produce essential oils for many purposes. So what are the purposes? Well, one, it's to attract pollinators and dispersal agents, right? So it's attracting those bees and butterflies and beetles. And, those insects are actually known to be attracted by aroma, much like we are. We are attracted to things by aroma, so are insects. So the plant uses the oil, and that is one of its purposes, is to attract those things to create, pollination and all those things that are natural in nature. Also, essential oils' purpose is to play a role in the communication from one plant to the other. Now, this was really interesting to me. So plants release these chemicals, right, to prevent the competing plants from growing within its area. And so an example of this would be in Southern California, there are these two types of sage. So there's like a sage bush and then there's another type of sage, and they grow. And what they do is both of the species release terpenoids, eucalyptol, and camphor, which are chemicals, and that prevents other plants from growing around them. Okay, so by releasing those chemicals, they're really protecting themselves, right? They're protecting their kind of little zone of where they like to thrive and where they like to grow. Another purpose is that the oils serve as a defense against insects and animals, so they really help to protect the plant. That's a really important thing that the essential oils do. So the plants use terpenoid compounds to deter invaders. Insects are rarely found on peppermint leaves. If you look on peppermint leaves, or if you've been to just looking around at different farms, or even if you have herbs growing, you'll realize that bugs don't really go, you're not going to find them on there. And that's because of the terpenoid compounds, all those things that are helping, they're emitting, right, so that they're deterring those invaders and protecting the plant. And it protects the plant by their antifungal and antibacterial nature. Okay, so those are important things for us to understand. So there's many compounds in oils, like a lot. I'm just going to name a few. We have monoterpenes, sesquiterpenes, esters, alcohols, and terpenoids. And those are just a few. But those are names that we need to be familiar with. If you're using essential oils, these are things that you need to know. These are the compounds that are in the oils that help do things for and support our bodies in different ways. And if we know more about those compounds, we're going to know much more about the oils and what they're even capable of doing. So each one of these compounds brings something unique and different to the table when we're talking about what the essential oils can do and how they support us. So there's 3 characteristics that make essential oils really distinct and unique. And that's their volatility, their synergy, and their adaptability. And I talked a little bit about that when we talked about what are essential oils. So their volatility. So every oil has a mixture of high volatile compounds, and this is helpful and needed for the plant's survival. So like the peppermint that I just said, you're not going to find insects on the peppermint. Peppermint secretes volatile molecules and helps to protect the plant from invaders. So we actually have the ability to harness, which is cool, we have the ability to harness these volatile chemicals for our own wellness, right? So what it's doing for that plant, it's helping protect that plant from invaders. We're able to use that. We harness that and use that for our own wellness. And science is discovering new things, like I said, all the time about the physiological processes that are really at work in the essential oils. So we're learning more and more. So we have, we talk about lavender, right? And everything about lavender, when we breathe lavender in, all of the components in lavender go immediately to work to help give us a calming effect on our body, to help us in different ways in our body. And that's a really important thing that we get to do, we get to benefit from. So also another characteristic is the synergy. So synergy is just the balance of the different components in the oils, because they all have this very unique balance, and we don't really fully understand all of the different, why this oil would have a component of this much and not as much of this other component. So a drop of oil has hundreds of chemicals, and they all work together to make up the plant's physiology, or like I like to think of it as their fingerprint. So all those compounds make up that oil's fingerprint, and it's individual to that oil. Nothing else can make up that exact physiology. So like I said, we don't even understand the synergy and why certain oils have different balances or chemicals. So all of the studies that we're doing are really helping us to discover why that is. And it's just another testament to the beauty of nature, right? That nature is like way over our heads, and it's so vast and it's so great that we get to use it in the form of essential oils to help us. So oils are also adaptable. Our human makeup is based on the same organic molecules in plants, and we're both exposed to similar environmental stresses and threats. So we are very similar to plants. I mean, we live in the same environment, right? We come in contact with those same stressors every day. So that is really beneficial to us. So it's really no surprise that the chemicals used in plants for protection and health can be used in our bodies too. So everything that it's helping with those plants and it's doing for them, it's doing for us too in our bodies. That's really cool. So oils change. They adapt. They transform into whatever is needed to protect the plant. And that's what they're going to do for our bodies too. So this adaptability of the essential oils is what's really catching the attention of our scientists and our medical professionals. And for good reason, because why? We are seeing that we're in a world of trouble, and all of our synthetic solutions are not being as effective as they once were, right? So we're having overabundance of superbugs, we're having, antibiotic resistance, all those things that were beneficial to us and what we thought were really, really, really beneficial, actually we're finding we have some trouble. And things are happening that we didn't quite expect and predict. So here's a good question. Could natural plant-based options be better for our bodies than static chemicals that don't adapt, right? They don't have the ability or the intelligence to adapt for survival. So are we going to use something that doesn't have that adaptability, that doesn't have that, that extra protection that's natural to it? Or are we going to go with something static that is synthetic to our bodies? Our bodies can't even really recognize it. And it doesn't have that adaptability factor. So it's never going to be able to change with our environment, with new environmental threats. So we're going to constantly be needing to create new synthetic options, right? Instead of just going to nature where God created it and we can use it in its beauty. So science is showing us a really different story with all of the research that we're doing. And we're finding that it's really serving our bodies and promoting our wellness even more when we're diving into these natural solutions. So more research is being done and the findings are really exciting. A lot of these findings are going to be brought to light this summer and also at doTERRA's convention in September. We're very, very excited about that. I'm even more excited that, I know, isn't it interesting, Ava? It's just, it really helps me to be, I'm so grateful now that I know exactly what all of the oils are doing actually in the plant and how that's transferred to my body. And I'm really harnessing that and using that for my own wellness. Anyways, our medical advisory board is getting bigger and bigger because of what I just said, right? We are striving for other kinds of solutions in our health. Our synthetic options can serve us well, but in many ways they're failing, right? And so we have to look outside of the box and maybe look back at nature and look back at things that we've used in the past. Now we have wonderful, scientific ways of diving into them and understanding them better and using them more optimally. And so by having our doctors and everyone get on board with this, and they are wholeheartedly, I just really see us really moving forward in health and wellness as a society. And that is exciting. Yes, so at the regional summit in Dallas that they just had, Ava, you were there, and they talked a lot about, just all that's going to be happening, all these studies that are coming out and all of these medical professionals that are really jumping on board. And if you know of a doctor or someone that's really interested in this or is open to learning about other kinds of options so that they would be able to help more people, they can go to the Source to You website. doTERRA has a website called Source to You, and it's a great place to go and send people to really see everything that's going on. I mean, we are just expanding. This whole movement is expanding, and it's expanding in education, right? We're helping to educate, and we're helping people to be empowered and helping them to look at their bodies differently and serve their bodies differently, because we got to take care of this. This is all we've got right now, so we got to take care of it. So anyways, if this is helpful, or if you know that someone needs to hear this information or thinks that it would be interesting, feel free to share this live video. You can go, it's only shareable in my public DNA Essentials page, so if you're in my private page, you can go to the public page and you can tag people and you can share it from there and further everyone's knowledge in their own wellness and essential oils. So anyways, I hope you guys have a great day, and get out your books, get out your Modern Essentials and Essential Life book, and dive into some of these compounds and understand what they are. Know what a sesquiterpene is, and a terpenoid, and linalool, and all of those things, because that'll just help you to understand how to use your oils even better. All right, so you guys have a great day. Bye.